The year is 1985. My mom met my father at a bar. My father, he was a born witness, right? My mom wasn't. So my father, he was just got the fellowship, right? In his 20s, mid-20s, in the 1980s. He met my mom at a bar. They started to go out. They dated, started to go out. And even though he was the fellowship, he told my mom about the Jehovah Witness religion, right? He introduced my mom to the religion, and he told her to pretty much study with somebody and get familiar with the religion, right? So she started to like what she heard about the religion, right? And later that year, I believe in 86, she met my father in 85, right? And in 86, my mom got baptized at Yankee Stadium in Bronx, New York, right? You guys remember back in the day, people, we had the conventions and assemblies at hockey stadiums, and at baseball stadiums, right? So my mom got baptized right before she had me. In 86, she got baptized at Yankee Stadium, right? Then she had me in 87. So my mom and my father, they were going to the meetings together, right? My father, remember, he was the fellowship, and he was trying to come back, and he just gave up. He decided not to come back, but my mom, she stuck with it, right? She got baptized, and she stuck with it. Then she gave birth to me, like I said, in 87, right? So then she had my younger brother a year and a half later. Next thing you know, my father splits on her. He leaves, right? So now my mom, she's in her mid-20s, stuck by herself raising two kids, right? She's in a financial crisis. My father's not around, right? She's by herself, solo. So she's baptized in the religion at this point, right? With two kids in her mid-20s. And all she's hearing is paradise is right around the corner. No more struggling. No more being in distress, right? No more depression. Paradise is right around the corner. So of course, when people hear this, they're hooked. Just like my mom. She was in a really bad state. And it was so bad, right? It was so bad at one point that she was ready to end her life. And me and my brother, she was ready to kill us all. Because she was by herself raising two kids. Just in her mid-20s, raising two kids. Poor. No hope, right? So she was gonna say, fuck it. I'm gonna take me and my kids out so none of us can struggle, right? That was her mind frame. And then you keep hearing paradise is right around the corner. That is how this religion hooked her. That's how they got my mom. And she's been in it ever since. Ever since. Over 35 years later, right? 35 over. She's been hearing it's right around the corner. This organization, the Jehovah Witness organization, is for the uneducated, the poor, and the haughty. Now, when you're uneducated, right, and you're in despair, you're going through trials and tribulations, right, all you have to hear is, there's a paradise. There's a paradise earth right around the corner. No more wars, no more death, no more disease. You're going to be happy. Your family's going to be happy forever on paradise earth. Now, if you're going through any trials and tribulations and you hear that, right off the back, that's gonna do something to you, right? That's gonna reel you in the organization. It sounds enticing, right? It sounds appealing, right? Because after all, who wants to die? Who wants to struggle? Who wants to be depressed, right? So you hear no more of any of that, no more depression, no more death, no more sickness. it's going to reel you in, right? And unfortunately, that's how this organization works. People that are in despair, people that are in distress, right? Poor people, people struggling not just financially, right? But struggling mentally, emotionally. And you hear of this is going to be no more depression, no more death? Wow. Like I said, that's how it started with my mom, right? Now me, I was a born witness. I was uneducated myself, right? As a born witness, you're bound to be uneducated. It's bound to happen. And I didn't wake up from this religion until 2 years ago, right? Now, even though I was born and raised, I was inactive the majority of my life. Sorry, the majority of my adult life, I was inactive, right? But once I got the fellowship 2 years ago, that was the best thing that happened to me. Because for the first time in my life, I was able to educate myself. Now, once you're educated on this religion, and this is what the governing body leaders, this is what they don't want their members to be educated. Because once you're educated, you no longer are living in fear, right? As for me, I have no more fear. This is the first time in my life where I don't fear death. I don't fear Armageddon. I don't fear the Great Tribulation, right? Because now I've done my research. I know what's not going to happen, right? So once you take away that fear, you're good. But before you get to that point, you have to educate yourself. You have to educate yourself so that you no longer have that fear in your heart, right? Once you no longer have that fear, you are unstoppable. The elders, the governing body leaders, no one can control you. Because this organization runs on fear. It's a fear-mongering organization. So you take away the fear, they can't do nothing to you. There's plenty of people in Africa, countries like Africa and Mexico, right? People living in true poverty, right? People that are struggling economically, financially, they're struggling in all aspects. The organization thrives on that. The governing body leaders, they thrive on that. You know why? Because these people need hope. And they are willing to do anything and everything for that hope, right? To make it to everlasting life, right? Now, me personally, I don't believe it's coming. Once you do your research and you realize that these men made it up, that I believe it's Charles Russell, if I'm not mistaken, but the early founders of the organization. Once you realize that this was they just made this up, right? Just to bring people in the religion. I find it a bit inhumane. It's not even a word I want to use, but to sell a false hope, to sell a lie, right? Just to profit from people, just to control people. There's no words that you can. There's no words you can use. There's no words for that, because you're controlling people's lives, right? You're dictating people's entire life for profit and money. And these witnesses, these Jehovah Witnesses, they are hooked on this. They're hooked on this lie. It's sad. It's sad, but it's true. But like I said, this organization, right? It's for the poor, the uneducated, and the haughty. Now, a while ago, I spoke to a few months ago, I spoke to a sister, right? Right before I woke up, right before I came out as an apostate, I was trying to speak to as many Jehovah Witnesses as possible. I was trying to speak to all my Jehovah Witness friends. I was trying to speak to as many as possible, just to help them think for a change, right? Just to help them see things outside the box, see things differently, right? And I asked one of my JW friends, my sister, I asked her, I said, listen, I said, how do you honestly know that this religion, this is the true religion, right? I said to her, because she's in her mid-30s, she's a few years younger than me, right? So I said to her, are you really willing to risk waiting the rest of your life for a paradise earth that may not happen when you can just do your research? I was trying to encourage her to do her research, right? I told her, I said, listen, what if you wait the rest of your life? Because you're following this organization, you're following these men blindly with no valid proof that this is God's true organization, right? I said, what if you're wrong? I said, what if you're wrong and you waste and wait the rest of your life for something that's never gonna happen? What then? And I told her, I said to her, you're in your mid-30s now. What if you're in your 70s and paradise earth is not here? Then what? She goes, well, if it doesn't come, then I guess I'll just die as an old lady. And I couldn't comprehend that. See, this is where being educated comes in handy. This is why it's not optional. It should be mandatory for every witness to be educated on their religion and for them to do their own research, right? Because once you're educated, once you know the truth about the truth, and you look at the organization from a different perspective, right? A different set of lenses. Once you do that, you're bound to wake up. And the sad part is, here's the sad part is, all these Jehovah's Witnesses have to do, right? If Jehovah's Witnesses, if they use one day, if they have one day just to binge watch XJW material, right? Just to go online, on Google, Reddit, if they spent one day doing a hardcore research on their organization, they are bound to wake up. I'm not saying it would take one day to wake up. I'm not saying that. But that would be the gateway for them, right? That would be the gateway for them to do more research. The more research you do in a religion, you're bound to wake up. You're going to wake up, right? But yet, because they choose not to do their research, they would rather spend their entire lives waiting for something, a paradise earth, that's never going to happen. That makes no sense. That's why I say this organization is truly, I'm not knocking Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm not making fun of them. I'm not knocking them. But this organization, to be a Jehovah's Witness, you have to be uneducated. You have to be. Because someone that's educated, right? Someone with common sense, someone that thinks rational, right? They will look at the organization from all aspects. And it's so sad that they choose to blindly follow men. Blindly, right? Blindly follow men. When literally just one day of binge watching XJW material and one day of doing a hardcore research on their organization, that one day could save them 50 plus years of their life. Right? That's crazy when you think about it. Just one day can change the entire life, right? Because they could wake up and that one day of doing research, they could wake up and say, oh shit, this is all a lie. This is man-made. My whole life was a lie. That one day can make a huge impact, right? But because witnesses, because they decide to stay uneducated, that's a choice to remain uneducated, right? Because they choose not to look at outside material. So that's a choice that they made, right? Because they decided to make that choice and put their faith blindly in men. A lot of Jehovah's Witnesses, they're going to die believing in something that's false. They're going to die believing in a man-made organization. That pains me to death. That pains me. That hurts. That hurts me. It hurts me because these witnesses, they will never ever be their true authentic selves. They're literally going to just die, waste their life away serving men. It's a waste of a fucking life. It's sad. It's pathetic. And that is why I make these videos, because if I said to myself, if one witness could watch my videos, and if I can incline one person, one Jehovah's Witness, to do their research, then I'm good. I'm good. But this organization truly is for the uneducated, the poor, and the haughty. Like I said before, with the poor people, right? With people that are struggling financially, this organization gives them hope. Because as of right now, in their current situation, they have nothing to look forward to. People, like I said, people in extremely poor countries like Africa's not a country, but continents like Africa, countries like Mexico, right? These people are living in poverty. So of course, this organization, it's the world to them, right? It's the world to them. It means the world, and it gives people that hope. And it's sad that it's a false hope, but it's hope nonetheless, right? Sad to say. Now, one thing that I've been thinking about lately, right? And it's a catch-22. I said to myself, imagine if tomorrow the governing body leaders, they came out and they made a public announcement, right? And they said, you know what? We just want to apologize. We're frauds. We're not God's true spokesman. We're not. We would just try to profit for power and for financial gain. But we are not God's true spokesman, and we just want to apologize to all Jehovah's Witnesses because we have misled you guys. We are sorry. Now imagine if that happened. Even though I want them to say that, right? I would love for them to say that. However, the downside to that is, if they made that announcement tomorrow, a third of Jehovah's Witnesses, they would take their lives. And the rest would be mentally distraught, depressed for the rest of their lives. You know why? Because witnesses, they put all their eggs in one basket. They believe in this shit. This is their hope. This is their life. You take that away. You take the hope away. You tell them that, oh, paradise is not coming and we're frauds. You take that away. The majority of witnesses, they would not be able to comprehend that. Because they truly believe in this shit, right? They believe in this. And it's sad that this organization, it takes advantage of those struggling. As you guys notice, right? The people that are Jehovah's Witnesses, it's always people in poverty, right? It's always people struggling, people that lost someone in death. They want to see their dead loved ones again, right? It's always people that are in some type of despair. That's the type of people this organization attracts, right? Because it sells this false hope. It sells a lie. And Jehovah's Witnesses, they buy into it. Unfortunately, they buy into it. Yeah, it just, when I think about it, it's just heartbreaking because I already see the future of this organization. If something doesn't happen sooner than later, if the organization is not put down, if the governing body leaders, if they aren't held accountable sooner than later, I can already see what's going to happen. I can already see in the future. I can see 50 years from now, all these Jehovah's Witnesses, they're going to grow old and perish, waiting for something that's never going to happen. And that fucking kills me. That hurts. It kills me that these people are never going to be their true, authentic selves. They're never truly going to be happy. They're going to die believing in a lie. That hurts me. That kills me. That pains me. Because we all have one life to live, right? And if you can't live your life authentically, if you can't live your life for you, right? Then what's the point of living? Why would you want to live your entire life in a man-made organization? It's a waste of a fucking life. Whew. I meant to make this video shorter. Sorry about that, guys. But This organization it truly is for those that are in some type of need, some type of hope, right? But when it comes down to it, it comes down to getting over the fear of doing your own research. This is why, like I said before, being educated, it goes a long way. This is why you have to be educated. And that's why I say, this is the first time in my life. I was born and raised a witness, born and raised, right? Even though I was inactive for quite some time, I still believe in it, right? I still had that fear of Armageddon. But once you do your research, once you are educated and you do your research, that fear is gone. That fear is gone. I no longer fear no men, no elders, no governing body leaders. I fear nothing. I fear no tribulation, no Armageddon, nothing, right? And I wish every witness could take that fear away. I wish I could just be gone with that fear and just live their lives and just do their research, right? Without wondering, oh God, Satan, Jehovah's looking at me. I can't look at this because Jehovah's going to be mad. No, that's what the governing body leaders, that's what they want. They want to install fear into people's hearts, right? So that they don't do their own research, so that witnesses can continue to serve these men blindly, right? Whew. I always compare this organization to the 1960s Twilight Zone. Because at the end of the Twilight Zone TV shows back in the day, right? They always left you with a cliffhanger. There was always a twist at the end, right? It was always something you didn't see coming. And when I woke up from this religion, I didn't see that coming. Not at all. Because I honestly believe that this was the true religion. I believe in paradise earth. I believe in Armageddon. I believe in all that nonsense. So when I woke up, I realized that, hold up, this was all a lie. I couldn't fully comprehend it at first, right? But it was that fear. It was that fear that kept me inside the organization, right? Even though I was inactive, I was out. I was physically out, mentally in, right? But I still believed in it. And I pray to God that Jehovah's Witnesses, I pray that they wake up. Before they perish, before they depart from this earth, I pray that every Jehovah's Witness, they do their own research and they wake up. That's my one and only. That's one thing that I pray for, right? All right, guys, I'm gonna end this video on that note. But like I said before in my previous videos, I'm gonna take some time off from making videos. I'll focus on my mental health for the next month or two. This year, I've been putting pretty much everybody before me, right? And for a change, for once, I need to put me first. I need to focus on my mental health, and I need to focus on my self-worth, and just trying to find my happiness again, because it's been a stressful, hectic, depressful year. This has been a horrible year for me. So I'm gonna take some time off from the YouTube videos. I'm gonna take some time off from social media. I might be back on November, maybe December, but one of my good friends from Australia, he sent me some books from back in the 1950s, right? He sent me This Means Everlasting Life book. He sent me the Light book. And he sent me the Vindication book, right? So I'm gonna do a deep dive on these books, because I'm sure there's been a lot of new light, quote unquote, right, since then. So like I said, these books are from the 1950s. They are no longer accurate in the organization. People don't use them. They're discontinued books, right? But I want to make comparisons to these books and what's being taught now, because as we know, there's a lot of new light since then, since the 1950s. So I'm gonna do a deep dive on these books, and like I said, I'm gonna focus on my mental health in the next month or two. I'm gonna take some time off. I'm not gonna make any videos. I'm not gonna be on social media. But I just want to encourage anyone that's struggling with depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts. Please focus on your mental health. Let that be your priority. Let that be your priority. I felt to take advantage. I felt to put my my mental health first earlier this year, and it caught up to me. Like I said, I've been putting everybody else before me earlier this year, and I realized, not selfishly, but I need to put myself first. You can't help other people until you first help yourself, right? So that's what I'm gonna do for the next month or two. Hope everybody is enjoying the weekend. I hope everybody is doing well, and I will talk to you guys in the next month or two. All right, guys, take care.